Excel Tutorial 5, pages 278 through 286. On page 278, please read about filtering data and filtering using one column. Okay, to filter the January data table to show only the food segment. All right, so we are still in our January workbook with the cash receipts tab selected, and you are clicked someplace in this data table. Yes? Perfect. Step number 2. All right, click the segment filter button. It's that one right there. The filter menu opens as shown in figure 5-15, listing the unique entries in the segment field: coffee, food, gifts, and specialty drinks. All of the items are selected, but you can set which items to use to filter the data. In this case, we only want food. Top of page 279. Step number 3, click the, one more time. Click the Select All checkbox to remove the check marks from all of the segment items. Right there, so we're going to toggle that off. Click the Food checkbox to insert a check mark, food, right there. The filter will show only records that match the checked items and will hide records that contain the unchecked items. Click the OK button. The filter is applied. The status bar lists the number of food rows found in the entire table. In this case, 31 of the 124 records in the table are displayed. Okay, look right down here at your status bar. It says 31. This is a warning to you, okay, that there are actually 124 records found, but only 31 are being shown right now. Okay, so as you can scroll down, you can see all of those, and take a look at your filter button and look at how it changed. Okay, learn to read those icons so that you know what it's telling you. All right, step number 6. Review the records to verify that only records with food in the segment column are visible. All other records in this column are hidden, leaving gaps in the row numbers. Okay, the other way you can tell when you have a filter turned on, look at the row numbers. Okay, I'm pretty sure that we have more numbers than that, right? Step number 7. Point to the segment filter button. A screen tip shows up. Okay, touch it, and it says segment equals food. That's another way to tell exactly what's going on in your data table. Okay, read the bottom of page 279 and the top of page 280, and we're going to go on to filtering using multiple columns. All right, click the Day filter button right there. Click the Select All checkbox to remove the check marks from all of the day checkboxes. There you go. Click the Saturday checkbox. Click OK. The January data table is further filtered and shows the 5 rows of Saturday food receipts in January. Okay, so now we've narrowed it down to only food receipts on Saturdays. Okay, and again, take a look down here at your status bar, and take a look at your filter buttons, and then take a look at your row headers. Okay, page 281, read about clearing filters. To clear the filters to show all the records in the January data table, click the Day filter button and then click Clear Filter from Day. So we're going to go right here. Okay, do you see where it says Clear Filter from Day? There you go. The table shows only food receipts because the segment filter is still in effect. Step number 2, click the Segment Filter button and then click Clear Filter from Segments. Segment Filter button, Clear Filter from Segments. The segment filter is removed and all the records in the January data table are now displayed. Take a look at your status bar. Okay, now because there's no filter, there's no warning there to you that you have anything missing, and then you can take a look at your row headers and see that all of your numbers are there. All right, on the bottom of page 281, read about selecting multiple filter items. Then flip over to page 282 to select multiple filter items. Number 1, click the Segment Filter button and then click Gifts and Food. The checkboxes on those to remove the check marks from Gifts and Food. Okay, so we're going to go to Segment, and we're going to turn off Gifts, and we're going to turn off Food. Verify that the coffee and specialty drink checkboxes remain checked. Coffee, specialty drinks, we're good. Selecting more than one item creates a multi-select filter. Click the OK button. The January data table is filtered, and the status bar indicates that 62 of 124 records are either coffee or specialty drinks. Okay, right there. Always take a look at your filters so you can recognize what's going on that's been filtered in that manner. All right, read about creating criteria filters to specify more complex criteria. Okay, and the top of page 283, read problem solving using filters to find appropriate data. This is a very realistic thing that you might have to do in the workplace, and you have this huge table of data, and your boss says, well, I want to know how much, coffee we sold on Wednesdays, whatever it is that the data they want filtered. So make sure you're reading about this, because this is actually really applicable to any job that you might have. All right, 283. To create a number filter that shows cash receipts greater than 300. Click the Amount Filter button and then point to Number Filters. A menu opens displaying the comparison operators available for columns of numbers. Okay, so our Amount Filter button, you hit it, and then it says point to the Numbers filter. Okay. Okay, remember, anytime you see that little arrow right there, that indicates a cascading menu. So our next little cascading menu pops up, and you can see you have equals, does not equal, greater than, less than, etc. Click the greater than. Okay, that's right there. It has an ellipsis to remember what an ellipsis does. An ellipsis means that a dialog box is going to open. The Custom Auto Filter dialog box opens. The upper left box displays is greater than, which is the comparison operator you want to use to filter the amount column. You enter the value you want to use for the filter criteria in the upper right box, which in this case is $300. Okay, Custom Auto Filter, show rows where the amount is greater than, and we want 300. Right? Sorry guys, no dollar sign. What was I thinking? Only numbers, only numbers. Smack me twice. All right, so you type $300 in the upper right box. See figure 5-19 and make sure that what you're doing matches their little example. Use the lower set of boxes if you want the filter to meet a second condition. You click the AND option button to display rows that meet both criteria. You click the OR option button to display rows that meet either of the two criteria. You only want to set one criterion for this filter, so you'll leave the lower boxes empty. Did you know that criterion is the singular of the word criteria? See, you learn more than just Excel in this class. All right, go ahead and click your OK button. The status bar indicates that 17, right there, of 24 records were found. The 17 records that appear in the January data table are either coffee or specialty drinks and have an amount greater than $300. Scan down it real quick and make sure that they're all over $300. All right, next you'll sort the filtered data to show the largest amount first. To sort the filtered data table, click the Amount Filter button. The filter menu opens. The sort options are at the top of the menu. Do you see them right here? Okay. Click the Sort Largest to Smallest. The filter table now displays coffee and specialty drink categories with daily receipts greater than $300 sorted in descending order. Take a look at figure 5-20 and make sure that what's on your screen matches that figure. All right, on the top of page 285, to clear all of the filters from the January data table. On the ribbon, click the Data tab if you're not already there. In the Sort and Filter group, click the Clear button. Okay, you see it right there? So that's all we have to do. That clears everything in one fell swoop. We don't have to go to each filter button separately. Okay, not too hard so far, right? All right, let's finish up 285. creating a slicer to filter data in an Excel table. If you don't know what a slicer is, okay, you read this very carefully and make sure that you can define what it is, because it's important that you know what a slicer is. To add the week number slicer to the January data table, on the ribbon, first of all, make sure you're clicked inside your data table. On the ribbon, click the Table Tools Design tab. In the Tools group, click the Insert Slicer button. Okay, so take a look at your Tools group. Here's Insert Slicer. The Insert Slicers dialog box opens, listing every available field in all tables in the workbook. You can select any or all of the fields. Okay, step number 3. Click the week number checkbox to insert a check mark, and then click the OK button. Okay, so we want week number, and you click OK. And here's our slicer. A slicer you grab in a white area, and you can move it to wherever you want it. The week number slicer appears on the worksheet. All of the slicer buttons are selected, indicating that every week number is included in the table. So we have 1 through 6, correct? Drag the week number slicer to the right of the January data table, placing its upper left corner in cell G1. If necessary, click the week number slicer to select it. Now you can tell it's selected because it has the sizing handles all the way around it. If it wasn't selected, it would look like this. If you need to select it, just click on a white area. Okay, do you see the difference? The blue around it, no sizing handles, click on it, it turns white and it has sizing handles. When it's selected, the Slicer Tools Option tab appears on the ribbon and it's selected. So we have another contextual tab. Okay, so if you deselect, it doesn't exist. Click on it and your contextual tab, Slicer Tool Options, shows up. In the size group, okay, take a look, here's your size group. We want a height of 2.2. Just come to view. And we want a width of 1. Okay, you can use a spinner, or you can just highlight it and type it in yourself, whichever you want to do. You don't have to hit OK after that. It's all set. You don't have to hit enter. You don't have to do anything. It's already done. All right, step number 7. In the slicer group, click the More button and then click Slicer Style. Okay, here are our slicer styles. More button is right there. And we want the Slicer Style Dark 2. So here's our dark group. Touch them. There's Slicer Style, say that 5 times fast, Dark 1, and Slicer Style Dark 2. That's the one we're going to select, so go ahead and click on it. And then our slicer turns out pretty and orange to match our table. Go ahead and flip to the next page. All right, to filter the January data table using the week number slicer. On the week number slicer, okay, click the 1 button. Only week 1 data appears in the January data table. All of the other buttons are gray, indicating that these weeks are not included in the filtered data. Okay, I also want you to take a look right there at your week number filter button and see the change in it. Press and hold your Control key and then click the 5 button and then release the Control key prior to releasing the mouse button. Okay, so Control, click 5, okay, just like that. Cash receipts for week 5 are now added to the January data filtered table. Okay, so now we have weeks 1 and 5 in there. Top of page 287. Lori no longer needs to see the January data table filtered, so you can clear the filter. On the week number slicer, click the Clear Filter button. It is right there. Do you see it? Cleared it right out. All filters from the week number slicer are cleared from the January data table. All of the cash receipts for January are now displayed. Okay, go ahead and save this file, and you're ready to move on to your next video.